Okay, means in this module we learn the zero trust module, CIA, the confidentiality, integrity, and finally we learn about governance, risk, and complaints. We will be able to describe the shared responsibilities model and how responsibilities shift across the primaries, security strategies, and explain the confidential integrity. That's called as a CI. Okay, that's called as a CI. And then learn about describe the and the seven fundamental pillars. Describe the entity. Describe the encryption and hashing as a mechanism for protecting data at the rest in transmit and in use. Okay, so next we can learn about the describe the governance, risk, and compliances. Okay, so let's we can take a next step and start to hear that. Step start. Okay, so first like I have, so we can learn in this unit was describe the governance, risk, and compliance concepts. Okay, including data redundancy असेल. Okay, डाटा सॉवरेनिटी असेल, डाटा प्रायव्हसी असेल. ठीक आहे. नेक्स्ट युनिटमध्ये आपण वाचणार आहे डिस्क्राईब अबाउट द शेअर रिस्पॉन्सिबल मॉडेल. ओके, सो इन ऑर्गनायझेशन रनिंग only the premiums hardware and software, the organization is responsible for the entire technology stack, the building physical physical servers, networking, operating systems, applications, and the data. Okay, so when you move to the cloud service, some of those responsibilities shift to the cloud provider. The shared responsibility model helps you to understand exact who is accountable for which part of security, so you can plan your security strategies accordingly. Okay, so shared environment, your organization should control every level or every layer of the technology stack. Your team is responsible for the physical security of the building, maintaining and patching hardwares, configuring network devices, security operating system, deploying and updating applications, protecting identities and accesses, and safeguarding your data. This full ownership means complete control, but it also places the entire security burden on your team. Okay, so you can put or share responsibility with the cloud. So that's minimize your what's burden on your team. Okay, so how we shift or how we share the responsibilities like this. Okay, cloud computing changes this model. When you use cloud services, some of the day to day security is responsible to transfer the cloud provider. Okay, so the exact split depends on the which service model you're using. So on primes, your organization managed and secure the entire stack, from the physical building and hardware to the operating system and application and data. So infrastructure as a service, if you are building as an infrastructure as a service like a LAS, sorry, as IaaS, infrastructure as a service to the cloud provider, secure the physical data center and network hardware, and the host machine. You're responsible for the operating systems, applications, network, and okay. So that was that thing. You're responsible for the operating systems, applications, network, and okay. So that was that thing. Responsible for the operating system. Okay, so the next was like a platform as a service, like a cloud provider, also taken on the responsibility for the operating system and the runtime environment. You receive responsibility for the application, for your application code. For your application code, it's configured to access control. Okay, access control and your data. Software as a service पण आहे. Okay, cloud provider manage the entire application stack and underlying infrastructure. So you're responsible for the access management, controlling who use the service. Okay, like that. The data and how you configure talent level settings. So you understand how the cloud service work or how they help to us and how our responsibilities was split. Okay, so we can revise or recap it, then we can move to the another level, another unit or the another slide. Okay, there was a first was on premise stack, means entire project you manage. Okay, and entire project you will secure. Then from the from physical building to the hardware to the opening operating system and application data, that was on premise. Okay, so next was a infrastructure as a service, like your infrastructure was uh, managed by the cloud provider, secure that physical data centers and the net network hardware and the host machines. That was a hardware. That was the infrastructure of the service. Okay, so that will be their responsibility, and our responsibilities was for the operating systems, application, and network control of our configurations and your data and our data. Okay, so that was the platform as a service. Also the cloud provider also taken responsibility of operating systems and runtime environment. It is your responsibility for your code. Okay, अपने अपने कोड के लिए अपन रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो सकते हैं. So okay, so then it's configure access control and your data. Okay, then it's configure our access control in our data. Okay, then software service, then you can manage entire application stack, underlying infrastructure. So responsibility only leads to the access manager who is accessing our uh, website or our services. Okay, some resource always remains with you, no matter which service model you use. The following diagram illustrates the typical division responsibility between the customer and the cloud. So on-prime means the whole responsibility on us, security our all the reasons, like information, data, device, mobile, all account identity, all. Okay, so this responsibility is always retained by the customer. मतलब information and data is our responsibility, device is our responsibility, account and identity is our responsibility. Okay, that must be followed by the customer. Okay, then what happens? Okay, so then was my. So then here is on the four types of share model is Intels, on-prime, as PaaS, SaaS. Okay, so on-prime means whole responsibility on us, like confirmation data, devices, account and identity and directory infrastructure, application, network control, operating system, physical host, physical network, physical data centers, all the responsibility. Okay. Responsible service types, transport, okay. So basically, then you can choose by wisely. Okay. So basically, when you choose, uh, so, so when you when you choose ice, so you can only use the physical, only choose the physical type of, yeah, that physical type of services, like a physical host, physical network, and physical data centers. Okay, when you choose pass, then you can you can share the responsibilities like the identity and directory infrastructure, application, network control, and operating systems. But when you choose SaaS, then you can access all the, then you can choose all those responsibilities, or but you must follow the, you must what you must acquire, or you must follow, you must need to check the information and data, devices and account identity. Okay, so that it is in the share responsibilities. So right, then you can also manage all the responsibilities by like that. So all the responsibility managed like that. Responsibilities are you always retain. So what was the always you retain means always you follow up. So that was like this. Like regardless of which cloud service model you use, the following responsibilities should be stay with you. Okay. So any cloud services you use, that's no matter. But these services or these responsibilities are as you follow or as your responsibilities for that. Okay, no matter how which service you can take it. Okay, so that was like a data, identity and accesses. Then endpoint means end user like and configure choices. So we can see in those details. So responsibilities you always like data. You're responsible for your data, including classifying its making encryption decisions. Okay, and ensure compliance with the data governance. Recommend the cloud should be uh, the cloud should be where it goes the cloud provider. The cloud provider secure uh, the cloud provider secure the infrastructure that store your data, but you decide what data you collect, who can access it, how long to keep it, and how protect it. Okay, you can access what you can decide that. Okay, so then next was the identity and accesses. Okay, identity and accesses you can manage the user control, user account, authorization method, access permission is always your responsibility. The compromise identity can give you attacker across access to the cloud resources even when everything else is locked down. Implementing strong identity practice such as a requiring multi-factor authentication MFA. Then you want to applying the last privilege access is one of the most important security obligations. Endpoint the device that connect your cloud services, laptop, tablet, phone, desktops are used to secure. Are used to secure. An attacker who compromise the endpoint can use used to be access cloud service provider cloud service provider at that at that device. the ligament the ligament users protecting endpoint through device management. Okay, and the security updates threat detection is a part of the shared responsibility. Then the configuration choice, the security settings and configured configured within your cloud team. How you configure services like what was that, and resources permissions, how who will be accessing to that, who will be getting the resources. Then the network policies are your responsibility okay. The microfigure storage account or an only per okay passive permissive access policy can expose your data, your service, your streaming service. Okay, then one successful understand policy. So choice is the security setting configure within the hosts. I want okay. So like a cloud building a certain on the cloud. Okay. So basically the cloud was what resources permission access policy. Okay. The cloud security advantage. So what was the advantage? Transfer some responsibilities also access give you access some just transfer responsibilities. Okay, transfer responsibilities. It also give you access to resources. It's also given you access to secure. cybersecurity capability that most individual organization could not be build or sustain on the. Okay, so we can take a break for the 5 minutes, then we can come another. Okay, so bye.